Ninjas.
Hey, I'm Sensei Landon at Code Ninjas. Today we'll be building a game in Scratch. We'll be building the game Flappy Bird. The Flappy Bird is a game where you're flying through pipes trying to stay alive. We'll be introducing principles like gravity and animation and collision. Alright, so let's begin. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to want to do is add a background to our game. So we're going to go and click this button in the bottom right hand corner. That's going to open the background library. And you can just pick whatever background you want. I'm going to click this one, blue sky. Next, I'm going to delete the cat because Flappy Bird doesn't have a cat. Then I'm going to add a couple sprites into our game. We're going to click this button in the bottom right hand corner that looks like a cat, and that's going to open up the sprite library. Then I'm going to click this search bar in the top left corner and type bird. Then I'm going to select the parrot, and this is the player, or this is the sprite that we'll use for the player. Next, we're going to hover over the cat button in the bottom right hand corner and select the paintbrush. Next, we're going to draw the pipe that the bird will fly through. To do this, we're going to select the rectangle tool and just select the color that you like. Very good. And then I'm just going to draw a rectangle the height of the screen in the middle. Just like that. After I've done that, then I'm going to click this button, convert to bitmap. Then I'm going to use the select tool and carve out a hole for the bird to fly through, and then press the delete button on my keyboard. Alright, so that's the sprite that we'll use for the pipe. Then next we'll go to the parrot and we'll start programming our game. We'll go to events and use the green flag block, and then we'll go to looks and we're going to grab the set size block and we're going to change 100 to 25. Just like that. After we've done that, then we're going to go to motion and grab the go to block, and we're going to change x to negative 174, and we're going to change y to 0. Great. Next, we're going to go to control and we're going to grab a forever block. So in the forever loop, this is where we're going to animate the bird. So we're going to go to looks and grab this next costume block, and why don't we just run the game and see where we're at the moment. So he's a lot smaller than he was. He's also fixed to the left side of the screen, and he's also flapping his wings quite fast. So to fix the animation problem where he's flapping his wings too fast, we're going to go to control, grab a wait 1 second block, and I'm going to change 1 to 0.05. That's a good speed for the animation. So now that he's positioned where we want him, he's the right size, and he's animated, why don't we start adding some movement and controls to the game. We're going to go to variables, this category here, and we're going to make 2 variables. We make variables by clicking this button here, make a variable. The first variable that we're going to create is gravity, and the second one is score. Once we have those 2 variables, we're going to go to events, grab the when green flag is clicked block, go to variables, and we're going to set both of those variables to 0. Just like that. So now that we've set score and gravity to 0, we're going to start having the bird fall whenever we're not moving up and flapping our wings or pressing spacebar. So we're going to go to control and grab a forever loop. Then we're going to go to variables and we're going to change gravity by -1. Next, after we've done those 2 things, we're going to go to motion and we're going to change y by gravity. Just like that. After we've done that, then you can run the game and you'll see that the bird will fall and he'll slowly increase his speed in which he falls. Perfect. Alright, now that we have him falling, we want to be able to move him up and fly through so that we can fly through the pipes. So we're going to go to Control, and we're going to go, or it's actually in Events, we want to grab this block when space key is pressed. Alright, so once we found it, we're going to go back to Variables, and we're going to grab this Set Gravity block, and we're going to set it to 20. So now he's falling, and whenever we press space, he goes up. He flies upwards. Very cool. So now we can control the parrot, but we have nothing. It's kind of boring, right? He's just flying there in place. And so to make it more interesting, we're now going to work on the pipe. First thing I'm going to do is rename pipe from sprite1 to pipe, just like that, so that the parrot knows what we're talking about. Next, we're going to go to Events, grab a green flag block, and much like we did for the parrot, we're going to change its size. But in this case, we want to actually make it bigger. So we're going to set size to 150, just like that. Then we're going to go to Looks. We're going to grab the Show block and put it right under the set size. Then we're going to go to Control, and we're going to grab a Forever block along with a Wait 1 second block. Now we actually don't want him to wait, or we actually don't want it to wait 1 second. We actually want it to wait a random amount. So we're going to go to Operators and grab this Pick Random block and place it right over the 1. And we're going to change 1 to 0.5, so half a second, to 2 seconds. So after we've waited that amount of time, we want to clone ourselves. So we're going to go to Control and grab this Create Clone of Myself. So after we've made our clone of ourselves, we want to be able to control that clone, and we want that clone to move to the left. So we're going to grab this When I Start as a Clone block from Control, place it off to the side, and then we're also going to grab a Forever block, and in that Forever loop, we're going to have him move to the left. So we'll say point in direction -90, and then we'll have him move 10 steps. If you remember, we had him, so instead of show, we actually want to hide the original, like this, and then we want to show the clones. So it'd be like that. So now that we've shown the clone and we have him moving to the left, it's probably at a good point where we can run the game. So we'll click the green flag, we're controlling our bird, and we'll see our pipes. Now they're close. There's a couple problems. So first off, we can see that the clones are spawning in the middle, which we don't want. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Motion in the pipe, and we're going to grab this Go To X and Y block, and we'll put it right under Set X to 150, and we'll change X to +300, and we'll change Y to 0. Just like that. Then, after we've done that, we can run the game, and we'll see that the pipes aren't spawning in the middle anymore. But what we can see is that they're kind of piling up here on the left side. They'll move to the left side, and then they'll just stay there, and then there's just a bunch of pipes on the left side, which is a problem. So what we want to happen, here I'll stop the game, what we want to happen is when they reach the left side, we want to delete that clone. So to do that, we're going to go to Control and grab an if statement. Then we're going to go to Operators and grab a less than block, put that in the if statement block. Then we're going to check if X position is less than, we want to check if it's touching the left side of the screen. So we're going to go to Motion, X position, and let's say -175, which is actually the position we used for the parrot, if you remember. So then we'll run it. So if we want to do something when it reaches the left side of the screen. So when it reaches the left side of the screen, we want to delete that clone. So we go here and delete this clone. It's in control. So the pipes are moving to the left, and when they reach the left side, they delete. Very cool. So we have the pipes basically working, and we have the parrot basically working, but they don't interact with each other. So to do that, we're going to go stop the game, go to parrot, and we're going to grab an if statement from control, and we're going to place it right under change y by gravity. And in sensing, we're going to check if we're touching pipe. Okay. Pipe. Next, we're going to go to, so if we're touching the pipe, then we want to stop the game, because that means we've lost. So we go to control, and there's this block stop all, and that's what we'll put in the if statement. So now we can run the game, and whenever I hit a pipe, it stops the game, and you lose. So why don't we play a little bit? So I think he's jumping a little too high. So we can change 20 to a lower number, and that will make him jump lower. Yeah, that's better. So, flying through pipes. Now, we have this score variable, and we set it to 0, but besides that, we don't do anything else with it. So why don't we increase score after every pipe we pass? So we're going to go to pipe, and right here, where we right before we delete this clone, we're going to go to variables, and we're going to say change gravity to score, and we're going to change score by 1. And that's just going to add 1 to score. So flying through pipes, every pipe we pass, and when that pipe hits the left edge of the screen, we delete that pipe, and I would say that is basically it for Flappy Bird. So, hope you enjoyed.
So we just finished Flappy Bird. Hope it was fun. For an extra challenge, you could try to add a high score list, keeping track of all your highest scores and all the times that you've played it. Hope you've enjoyed. See you next time.